So where were we? Okay, so we are here. So as this thing continues, you need to understand a couple of things about CACD. So CACD, that is continuous integration, continuous development. It is not continuous development. Sorry for the slip of tongue. It is continuous integration, continuous deployment. We are talking about deployment. Um, so the CI, it is like when automatically testing and integrating code when it is being pushed to the repository. Specifically, underline that word, to the repository, which means it can be GitHub, it can be Git Bash, no, not it can be GitHub, it can be Bitbucket, it can be GitLab. We have three kinds of repositories that you can able to have. You see, so it can be either of those. We are not just fixate yourself on GitHub and like something like that. Mhm. Sorry for that. So you can push your project. I have account for I think Bitbucket. I have not used it for like 2 years. For GitLab, I've not used it for a while now, but I've been using it. GitHub is the main one that I normally use. Just like having an account for Facebook, Instagram, and we have another one called what? Their name is all of them. Having an account for Twitter or X, but you are trying to use the one that is favorable for you for your conditions. So that is continuous integration. How about continuous deployment? This is like deploying the application automatically. When I'm talking about automatically, it means on a push of a button or it's running of a script. That is automatic. So automatically deploying the application after successful testing. So after continuous integration, after testing it and doing everything, so even the workflows, they normally have the test that they run. They make sure they normally make sure that you don't have any conflicts on dependencies. Like you don't have two types of Reacts applications that are running. It's going to check all of that. That is part of testing to make sure that your code base and your structuring is up to point, like it's on point. Nothing is wrong. So it has to check all of that. So that is part of continuous integration. Now, why is this important? Why is all of this important as I proceed to do all of this? Why is this important? This is important when you're trying to automate. Remember last week we handled testing and deployment, just testing. So we want to when you want to automate your testing and deployment, so you don't have to manually build, to test, deploy your code every time you're making changes. That's why you are going for CI/CD. This is important again if you're trying to catch errors early before running the test for every push. So you're bringing out the try catch error in your workflow so that you can be able to catch any errors that are there before it goes to production. So this is like a final gateway before you enter into a plane. That final checkpoint that you're normally being checked before you enter into a plane, a security checkpoint. Then we have another one which is just, of course, we are trying to save time. You might be working on a massive code base with a team that is rampant. So you need to save more time. So you want to make sure that your code, anything that you're pushing is deployable. So you don't need to come and if you push something, you commit something, I don't have to go and check line by line. No, 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 no. I don't have to do that. We have workflows for that. Just to give you an example before even I continue, talking from experience, remember, I'm talking from experience. And let me just show you. Don't know why my internet today is so laggy. No idea. Anyway, I have my organization that I created for gaming engine, and I was running massive hours of workflows, and we normally have 2,000. I think 2,000. I don't know what hours or runs per month. For me, I ran out of them, so it was just I don't know what I can say. For example, let me take you to the main project that was running everything. So this repository was running workflows, and actually I reduced workflows a lot so that I can able to accommodate, like to make sure that I don't have anything that is going to be an issue for me. So when you go to action, As you can see, these things normally run a lot. As you can see, this one ran for 24 minutes, close to 25 minutes of just automated commit from script like that. It is running directly from my computer while I'm seated. So I had several, but for example, for publishing to crates, because when you're working with Rust, just to give you a perspective, not part of what you're learning in class, when you are working with Rust programming, just like when you're working with JavaScript, when you want to create your own packages, you normally push them to npm, right? Same case as crates, so you normally do npm. So you push them to npm so that you can be able to have your own everything. So you come to npm and push them here. So same thing for Rust. So Rust crates, you normally push packages to create so that you can be able to allow other people to use your product. So that is when it comes to writing, building packages, because software engineering is not all about creating things like the have web interfaces. No, 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 no. It's not about creating web application. No, no, no. No, that is not all about. You can come up with a Chrome extension, a Brave extension, a browser extension that does something. You can sit down and say, I need to create a tool for developers. I see that my developers, that in the industry of developers in this category specifically, people are struggling with this part of packages. So I can come and create packages for them and give them to use them and test them. That is what I've been doing. For me, actually, I remove all the crates that I have. I remove all of them. I removed all of them. That's why I disabled this one. See, disabled. But when I come here and show you how that workflow was looking like, let me take you to the file. So it is called publish.yml. So this is the entire. So this entire workflow was responsible for testing, for scrutinizing each and every package that was supposed to be published to my account on crate.io. What it did, oh, sorry, I'm sleeping out. Ama wanasema tumebant, na bant hapa live. So what it did, because it's something that was there, because I'm not saying it does, because it is no longer functional. So what it did, as you can see here, it was checking the changes, specifically checking everything. If it was from the previous commit, what it's supposed to do and everything. I'm not going to go through everything because it was massive. And actually, I fumbled I think somewhere here. I fumbled somewhere here. That's why it was really messy. But anyway, this other one, I'm just trying to show you what I was doing actually last year. This one was to release an editor. I think you have seen something here saying release. I think you've seen something here saying release. Latest release. It gave me a release. So when you click here, it should take you to where you can go to download it, right? So let us see. Watch I load this one in those files that are downloadable. And as you can see, my comments are always verified. So let it finish checking everything, I think in a load. But anyway, they are here. So what you are seeing here, we are trying to package a release like an editor because it's an editor for a gaming engine. So I was releasing it for Linux, Windows, and Mac users. So for all users using Matrix OS, okay, don't mind all of those. So I was releasing that to the PC. You see, I was releasing that to the PC. So all of these, they were responsible to create that. And for me, I have an experience on creating desktop application for Linux a lot. Okay, this thing is taking too long. I just wanted to show you. I think you guys are familiar. I think some of you are familiar with what I'm about to show you. Something like this. So whereby you can able to just click this one and install it as a package. You see, we have tar.gz. I think you guys are familiar with what I'm talking about. Some of you, not all of you, of course. This one was running continuous integration, so i3MCI. So this one was responsible for doing all of those, testing everything, scrutinizing everything. It was running all the tests, as you can see, cargo test, cargo build. It was running installation of everything, checking the version, checking if everything is stable, up to standard. It was checking everything using Clippy. Okay, writing all the documentation for Windows, writing all the documentation for Linux and everything. So by the end of this, it can even take 1 hour to run. So if it is done, everything is okay, it can go to audit. This one was the shortest one. It ran really quick because it is short, as you can see. This one was the shortest one, and it ran really well, of course. So I did a schedule for every Friday, 15. So that is 3 p.m. I was doing a schedule. It was running every Friday, every Friday, every Friday. So it was checking and doing patches and everything to make sure that we don't have anything that is compromised. You see? So these are GitHub workflows. It was running the entire gaming engine that you're seeing here. This was the entire gaming engine. So anyway, what I'm trying to say, as you can see, I had a few of them that were failing. This was an audit. It went successful. This one they failed all of them. But the point is, that is just a glimpse of what you can be able to use as GitHub Actions. Anyway, let us see. Let us see. This one is video one. Save. Anyway, so this one is done. This one is done. So what I want to show you guys, let me push this one. So what I told you actually, I'm not trying to confuse you, but I can just come and say status. Okay, we have the client is not published yet, so I can just come and say commit my front end for movie site. This one is supposed to be double quotes. So when I tell you that running commit is going to do git add, then it's going to do git commit and everything. So ampersand, that is and. It is logical and. If you have done, there's somebody that we are supposed to teach. I think we are going to teach for the next class. We are trying to teach you discrete mathematics because discrete mathematics, if you have done computer science, it is what is helping you actually understand algorithms. So when I do that and hit enter, it gives me a commit that is ready. I enter my password. There you go. So everything is commit. Then I say push. So it's going to push, not to push a baby or what, just to push the code base to GitHub. Okay, let us confirm. Kama tuko Java. Where is it? Let me go to my organization. Any question up to that point? Sikuwa napigia mbuzi guitar kindly. Any question up to that point? Any question, just ask. Raise your hand. Put down, weka text hapo kwa nini tuone. Kwanza acha niulize watu personal. Now left, please. Isaac Karaoke, are you getting what I'm trying to say here? We are in week 7, trying to do deployment, trying to understand what deployment is and how to automate the deployment using Git and GitHub. Isaac Karaoke, do you understand? Have you understood anything so far? Isaac is quiet. Kirwa, are you there? Are you understanding anything? I'm not on a float what? Recording is very but at least you are getting something. Like we are trying to understand it now. Let us go for ladies. We said ladies first, but men in front. Uh, we have Eda. Eda, usicheke. Eda, unafahamu bola ama tuko aje? What have I understood so far? Nye huku unajua. Uh-huh. Yeah. Twende kwa other ladies. Acha tuwatafute hata akitaka kwa group. We have Elizabeth. Elizabeth, how are you? Long time no see. I understand that you cannot be able to talk, but are you getting what we're trying to say in class right now? Nice. Jackie, are you there? Hello, Jackie. Unajua kuna mwenye anaweza kuwa class lakini anapika lunch sahi. So tusifanye achomeke mikono ndio anapika. Jackie, are you there? On a light note though, if the like Jack is not there. Oliver, tell us something. Jackie, can you unmute and tell us if you have understood the like something that you have been talking about in class, like at least you have not wasted your time or have not wasted your time per se. Oliver, you can just unmute. Yeah, you can type Jackie. Oliver, umeelewa nini exactly? Hey, mlielewa something tumefanya 40 minutes ago anyway. Sijafanya bado CACD. I don't expect you guys to understand. I was just giving you a preview to capture your interest. But anyway, thank you for that. So, why is GitHub workflows and everything? So, underneath CICD, that's where you can be able to find GitHub actions. That's where you're going to find something like that. And with GitHub action, you're going to find Git workflows. So, why is maybe I just try to explain or answer it broadly. Why is this very important? Number one, I told you guys that it is going to help you save time. So it saves time by ensuring that your code is always in a deployable state. Like you're creating sort of an automation process such that every time you want to deploy, you don't need to check other things. You just need to pass your code base through this kind of pipeline. Then itaenda kukuwa inspected. It is going to be inspected, scrutinized. It is going to be passed through a couple of checkpoints to make sure that it's something that is deployable. Then it's going to be deployed to a third party site like Render, like Vaser, or Netlify, or AWS, or something like Azure. Number two, so remember, in a save time. So the first time you're going to spend a lot of time because you have to configure. You have to configure, calibrate everything so that you can be able to deploy. But the second time is going to be on a click of a button. When you say GitHub push, or for us push, something like push, it is going to do everything for you. You say there push, then you leave it. Give it a couple of minutes, everything is done. So that is automation. So we're talking about it automates testing and deployment. So you don't have to manually build. You don't have to manually test or deploy your code every time that you're trying to do it. So it is going to automate that process. So that pipeline, umetengeneza pipeline, automate that process. Something else that is additional is that we're talking about testing, right? So, sorry. So we're talking about testing. So if you're talking about testing, you're trying to find a way that you can be able to catch errors early before you put everything to production. So you're trying to get errors. Unajua, unaweza kuwa umecode something, umeunda something on your machine, it is working on your machine. But that is not the point. The point is it has to be used by other people. So you're going to realize that you have so many errors when you push to production because code base yako, it is working on your machine, but it cannot work on someone else's machine. So you have to create an environment to test everything, to make sure that everything, even for those who have done KCPE, KCC, when you're getting into a room, examination room, an invigilator is there by the door to frisk you, to make sure that you have the correct equipment to sit for that kind of exam. So this pipeline, this is a process that is custom. It is there. You have to be checked in front of the door so that you can be able to enter in, to make sure that no worries. Because production, let me tell you, usaikubali errors in the production. It is going to be messy. Okay, you might say, okay, but it's my own project. But if you develop that character of pushing wrong things on the production, you're going to find yourself in a company, you're a software developer, then you push errors or bugs to production. Kazi imeenda hivyo. And even worse, other companies, they sue you. Yeah, they sue you. You have been taken to court. They are going to say that you are incompetent. Then your permission and license to code or build any software is going to be terminated. So careful. I believe I've nimeelezea hiyo in the best way possible. So just to give you like a nutshell or another analogy for you to better understand it. So CICD, like I said, CICD underneath CICD is GitHub Actions. Majorly, if you are dealing with GitHub, but CICD can also work on GitLab. Actually, it works better in GitLab on some cases because of security measures. Though it is complex, but works better there. We have other companies that have deployed their codes on GitLab because it is closed source. It is not open source. GitHub, it is open source. GitLab, it is closed source. So GitHub Action, what you can say is a tool that helps you automate CI/CD, helps you automate continuous integration and continuous deployment workflows directly inside your GitHub repository. Let me repeat. GitHub Action, you can think of it as a tool that helps you automate your CI/CD processes workflow directly inside your GitHub repo. So think of it as maybe you can say a robot. Recently, I was watching a series. I don't know if somebody has watched something about Agents, Marvel Agents of Shield. There's a certain season whereby I think it is season 4, whereby robots are taking like you're creating LMDs. So yeah, I can't remember the exact full acronym of that LMDs, but these are robots that were taking, like they are trying to mimic human beings. They are scanning human beings and replacing them. So think of it, okay, the context was a robot. So think of GitHub Actions as a robot that runs tasks for you when certain events happen. So when you push your code, that is the kind of event. So you just push and then you leave it. So if you think that agents or robots they were here just yesterday, they were here before. Only that we were writing them, but we didn't know that we were writing agents or robots. Like these are tasks that you are automating. So a robot that runs tasks for you when a certain event happens. That's why. Let me bring up. Let me bring up something here. Let me bring up something here. I want to show you how an event is being triggered normally. Let's show you how an event is triggered. There's something that I want you guys to see. So, as you can see here, line 3 to line 6. So, it is saying on push branches. So, whenever a push is made from this kind of branch specifically, everything else starts running. The jobs, as you can see, we have so many jobs here. We have so many jobs that are running here. So exactly when you push, when you do, so when you do a push, specifically on this kind of branch that is called main. So that is the event that you're talking about. That is the event that you're talking about. So I want you to note that. So when that event happens, everything else happens. So when you say when a pull is being done, when you do a pull request, then everything should now happen. So that is just CI/CD or automating processes that you don't want to go on and over again. So you define what a robot should do using this kind of file, YML, as you can see. or you can say YAML files. So you define what the robot should do using the YML files, .yml. So you're supposed to do that how? Inside here, inside here, you're supposed to come and create a folder called .github. .github, remember. Then you write slash, then you write not light. Okay. GitHub. Na leo nashara vibaya sana. Shakura. So you come and create a folder. Sorry. Inside GitHub, .github, you come and create another folder called workflows. Workflows, remember, plural. So after doing that, now you can now put any file name that you want. So you put that folder inside your repo. Inside your repo, remember. So it is inside your repo, like that. Then inside this, you can now put anything that you want. So here you can come and say server.yml. Alafu we can come and add another one called client.yml, just like that. So these two kind of files, these are going to help you. One is going to push to client side, one is going to push to server side. They are going to be triggered when you do a push. We change something, then we do a push, is going to push really fast without any hesitation. So um, I'm trying to see how I can be able to break all of this down for a benefit of understanding. This recording is almost done, but don't worry, I'm going to create another one. Mm, so we have been talking about this. Let us try and create something that can be able to push this one. Let me zoom in and then minimize this one. Nimekuja sana. There. So let me just use the AI so that we can be able to understand really, really well. I need fully explained and implemented workflow to deploy our backend to render. Okay, so it is going to create to bring out this code. Inaenda kucode hapa. We have less than 1 minute, like 1 minute. So it is going to start by the name, like it is going to state the name, like let's say name, something like name. This is what it's going to do. Unaenda kusema name, then unasema server, something like push, naona vitu kama hivyo. So let it just acha itengeneze tu malize, but don't worry, I'm going to explain everything. Okay. Sitaki hizi code completions zinasumbua. Now let me explain from here. Forget about this. Hii yenye natoa hapa naelewa yote kenye nasema hapa. It's explanation. So you give the name of your workflow. So deploy backend to render. I've already explained this, what it does. I've already explained that. And as you can see here, we have the commands and everything. So you're trying to say, I want to run this upon push. So the event is push. So when you write a commit, then you push, it is going to perform that, but specifically when you push inside the main branch. You see?